My friend just picked up a 335i for his son. Let's check it out. Not a bad look from this side. Let me show you what I found on the body. You know, I like the rims and the anniversary edition rondelle for the wheels, but there is some body damage. Front bumper's a little beat up. Ooh, that's not pretty. Someone had some fun drifting, I would guess. You know, I gotta say the interior is pretty nice still on this car. And it is a convertible, so that's always a plus if that's what you're looking for. Let's see what it sounds like. So what do you think? There's gonna be a Christmas tree or there's gonna be no warnings on? Let's give it a listen and see what we got. Sounds good. That's what I expected. Brake, service engine soon, tire pressure malfunction. But it sounds good, so who cares, right? Alright, let's look under the hood and yeah, pretty much smells like it has no caps to me. Oh, I've got intake pipe and some modifications. I'll have to ask him how much he paid for it, but today what he's in for is these oil cooler lines that run from underneath the oil filter housing to this fitting over here are leaking, and they're leaking oil onto the belts. When oil gets onto the belts eventually will fray, come off, and get sucked into the front main seal. So we're going to be addressing that today. We're going to be doing some front brakes, an oil change, and I guess a general look over to see what else it might need. I already see that there's oil all along the crankcase seam right here, so it looks like it's going to need a valve cover. They like to crack right in this area here or around the crankcase seam, and then the oil runs down along the back. You know, something I just want to talk about real quick, this stuff back here, you know, you have your microfilter and this cover. This cover is really important in making sure that it's installed correctly. I've seen a bunch of cars come in where I work and water will get into the injector well. You can see how deep this injector well is. Water will pool in there. Of course, right now we have oil, but the water will get into the back cylinders and it will actually make the injectors get stuck in the cylinder head, and then the cylinder head's going to need to be either removed, replaced, or sent to the machine shop for repairs. So the water management system is very important on a BMW. Alright, let's look underneath. She's definitely got a big Charge air cooler. Yeah, she's definitely catless. Yeah, here's something to watch for too. See this ground strap? See how crunchy that is? That's going to be a no crank, no start in a very short period of time. Needed a ground strap. So as for the active oil leak, it looks more like the oil leak is actually from the oil pan and not necessarily from the front oil cooler lines. They are leaking, but the big drips I think that they're seeing are actually from the oil pan gasket. You can see even the exhaust is completely covered in oil. Wow, the oil goes all the way back here. Well, keeps things from rusting, right? Well, here's the shock dust boot. That doesn't belong down here. That should be somewhere up there. Looks like it's a little crumbly. And the right shock looks like it's leaking. You can see by all the dust buildup. Well, she needs some love and a little bit of work, but maybe this is going to be a good vehicle for my son's friend. Or it's going to be a big money pit.